Before we begin today's episode, a content warning. This conversation includes a discussion of rape and sexual assault. Listener discretion is strongly advised. If you or someone you know needs support, please reach out to the National Sexual Assault Hotline at 1-800-656-HOPE, that's 1-800-656-4673, or visit rainn.org for 24/7 confidential help. Previously on Chat 62.
So they gave me the option. They gave me the option to leave. They gave me, like, because they give everybody the option to basically give up your life in the Navy, like give up everything that you've worked for and go somewhere else because you're accusing somebody. And so they gave me that option and I said, no, first of all, there's nowhere else for me to go. Secondly, this is the only thing I have left. The only thing I have left is this flying. That's the only thing. Like I can't go anywhere else. Like I can't do anything else. This is the only thing I have left of who I was.
Real quick before we start, we've streamlined our contact info. From now on, if you have any questions, feedback, or ideas for future guests, just shoot us an email at chat62podcast@gmail.com. That's chat62podcast@gmail.com. I'm going to ask a couple more questions. Let's get back on course here. If you're not comfortable answering, I understand.
Oh, I'm an open book. I'll tell you whatever you want to hear.
Okay. As you neared your enlistment, the end of your enlistment, what was going through your mind, knowing that you were going to be medically retired?
I was ready. So at first, when they first told me hey, you're going to be medically retired, I was like, fuck you guys. Nope. You can't just throw me away like trash. I'm not garbage. And so because it took 10 months for me to actually get separated, I kind of came to this understanding that this is just what's going to happen and I'm going to play the game now. And I got really good at playing the game because everyone knows that it's just a game. You just don't figure it out early enough. So once they found out I was grounded, once my squadron found out I was grounded, they're like, we don't want you here anymore. Basically, what we're going to do is we're going to send you to the wing, which the wing oversees a bunch of squadrons. We're going to send you to the wing, which is right next door in a different building. Then once you're assigned there, we open up your billet here so we can get a new IFT that can fly. And then you're going to get basically TDY back here. We're just going to have a free worker that doesn't take up a billet. So I went over to the wing and I was like, I'll play your games. Deal. I went to the wing and they said, cool. So tomorrow you can report back to the queue. And I was like, I'm not going back there. And they're like, you can't just not go back there. And I was like, no, here we go. Let me tell you my story. And you're going to send me back to these people that clearly don't give a fuck. I'm not going back there. And whoever the billet guy was over there, he was like, oh, okay. But I'm not a giver-upper. I just don't give up. And a lot of people typically if you get pregnant, they would send you to the wing. And a lot of those people that get sent to the wing, they just kind of sit there. They don't do anything. They just wait until they have a baby. Then they do maternity leave. Then they eventually go back to their squadrons, but they don't really want to work. They see it as a vacation. I'm not good at not having something to do. I'm very goal oriented. So while I was there,
I'm looking, you saw the look.
So while I was there, I was like, I'm going to be the best shitbag I can possibly be. That's not true. But I knew that I could get here at 08:30, 09, and I could leave by 1300 to go to lunch and then not come back. But while I'm here for my 4 hours that I have committed to every single day, I am going to work. And they didn't know that I wasn't there when I wasn't there because I did so much work while I was there. And I didn't really have much to do. But I found shit to do. And I just powered everything out. I became the fire safety LPO of the entire wing. And I went to squadron after squadron. I took care of shit. I did so much stuff. And I would submit all this stuff. By the time somebody actually showed up in my office, which they were all being shitbags and they weren't showing up to work anyway. Because it was me as an E5. And then I had a chief who's an E7 and then 3 officers. That was my chain of command. And so they were either flying or off doing whatever chiefs and officers do. So I was the only one ever in my office anyway. Mm-hmm. So I would show up. I'd work for 4 hours because I knew I needed to be there. Somebody needed to see me. So I'd have always talk to somebody. I'd send a couple emails, make sure they got my work. Then I'd leave. I don't actually need to be here because I'm gonna be fired anyway. But like, I wanted to, like, if I was gonna be there, I was gonna do something. So I did. And then they ended up giving me, typically, and I'm like not trying to say this like brag. I don't really like to be braggadocious, but typically being like in the wing, especially being like pulled out of your squadron to be put in the wing, they don't give you like a Navy award medal for that, like a NAM. You don't normally get one at the end of tour being at the wing. You do typically at the end of tour being at whatever squadron, but not at the wing. So I got one from being at the Q, like transferring over to the wing. They still gave me a NAM. But at the end of my time being at the wing as well, they gave me a NAM for that because they're like, you actually got a lot done in the like 9 months that you worked here.
Dang, dude.
So and then I got medically retired. I like came to terms with it. I went to therapy every week. I went to therapy and I went to group with a bunch of other women that were going through the same situation and trying to do the same shit. And we just like helped each other through it. And they all went back to work afterwards. I was like, yeah, I'm going to go home. So I did. I went home.
Wow. At least you were able to make the most of it, you know, the last of that time. Looking back, is there anything you would have done differently during your time in service?
Yes. Couple things. No, actually, okay. I say yes, but I don't think I would. Because this is going to sound like really like upside down and backwards. Had I not been sexually assaulted in the Navy, I would have never met my husband. That's not true. I would have met him. He was in my squadron. I wouldn't have ever like taken a second glance at him. I wouldn't have ever spent any time with him. I would have been off doing whatever I was doing, partying and being crazy like I was being. And I wouldn't have ever like spent 2 seconds to be like, this guy seems chill.
What?
Never.
Why is that? Are you guys a total opposite of each other?
I had just got to the squadron. He had already been in for 6 years. He extended for another year because he was like, I don't know what I'm going to do with my life. So he like extended like last minute. So had he not extended, he would have been out of the Navy. So he's 4 years older than me, which like in Navy world, he's old. But you know, like that's like totally normal age difference in like the real world. But when I was in the Navy and he was in the Navy, he was much older than I was. Although he only outranked me by 1 rank, but it doesn't matter. But I was running around with like people that he would have never hung out with. Like I was hanging out with all these like kind of like these shit bags, these like, I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it. People that Taylor would have never spent any time with.
So Taylor's more of the he was older, so he didn't want to go out and drink every day or every weekend and stay up all night
too.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, so he was like also like running around, and actually he was almost never at work. He had like we called him golden skates. He was skating all the time, you know? Like he was never there. He was out doing whatever he was doing, and he was flying. Like he was like dedicated to like, I'm gonna fly. When I'm not flying, I'm not here. Basically, is what it came down to. And he lived and died by the flight schedule like he was supposed to, but he just didn't like the personalities of these other people that I was hanging out with. Like they were just opposite people. So he just would have never hung out with them, and in turn, him and I wouldn't have hung out. That makes sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I don't know, but like, I didn't really give him a second glance anyway, because I was going through so much in my head that like I wasn't looking for like a guy to hang out with. Like all guys were off the no, I'm done. Don't even look at me because no. And then we were on watch for like 8 hours one night together, and it took him 7.5 hours to ask me if I wanted to hang out with him sometime. But like up to this point, like I had a friend who was with me every single day. This friend that like knew everything that I'd gone through, and he was like, he saved my life, this guy. He wouldn't leave my side. He came to my room after work every single day, and he stayed with me until I fell asleep every single day. Like we didn't leave my room. He stayed with me because had he not done that, I probably would have killed myself. Like actually, like I'm not trying to like be funny or anything. Like he saved my freaking life. Well, this guy that was like hanging out with me, he told me, he's like, hey, I think Mercy's into you. And I was like, okay, that's cute. I'm not interested. And he's like, no, I think he's into you. I was like, well, whatever. I don't really care about all that because like, if you haven't noticed, I'm kind of going through something right now. And this was like right after everything happened, before I had even like reported anything, like right after. And so I don't know, we were on watch, and he was like, hey, you want to hang out sometime? And I was like, I guess. not really, but I mean, yes, I was being polite. And then I stood him up. I didn't go. And then he like checked in with me because like I was really good friends with his really good friend. Like she was like she took me under her wing, and they had been roommates at one point. So she knew that he was a good guy, and she kind of took me under her wing. And I was like, oh, I was supposed to hang out with Taylor today. And she was like, you don't have to. And I was like, okay. So I ditched him. Then he texted me and he was like, hey, I don't know, like, did your phone shut off? And it had actually shut off. And I was like, yeah, it did. He's like, well, what about like, this other time? Do you want to hang out? I was like, oh, God, he just will not let up, man, this guy. So I did. I hung out with him finally. I was like, if I hang out with him once, maybe I can kind of like blow him off after that. Well, that's not what happened, because he was like not the first person, because obviously I had that friend that was hanging out with me, but the first person that I was around that I was like, oh my gosh, like I think I'm okay. Like I think I'm safe and I think that this is good. And then he hugged me and I was like, oh, that was weird. I kind of liked it. Was I supposed, like, I don't know. People touch me and I like kind of shiver a little bit, but he hugged me and I was like, that's okay. That's okay. I like being hugged by you. It was like really, really slow going. Like we didn't kiss for a really long time either, because I was like, I don't know about that. Yeah. Don't touch me. So he just like kept coming back. He's very, very annoying. He smiles all the time. He like laughs all the time. It's so awful. So I just kept smiling and laughing. And I was like, are you sure you want to date me? Like, I'm pretty crazy. I'm going through some crazy things. And I laid it all out. We stayed up all night one night talking, and I laid everything out. And he was like, okay. And I was like, I think you're a little crazy. Like, I think something's wrong with you. And here it is 10 years later, and we got 2 beautiful kids, and I married him. And I think he went on deployment 3 weeks later. We started dating 3 weeks later. He's on deployment. And while he was on deployment, I moved into his house. Like, I don't know. He was just my guy. He's just my person.
When you know, you know. Exactly.
Yeah. So ever since then, I don't know. Like, I can't really live without him. It's like so gross. I like love the guy. God. No, he's the best. He like takes care of me. He does everything. So, but had all that not happened, I would have never thought about hanging out with Taylor. So yes, like, would I have done that differently? Probably, but like also no, because like look at my life now. Like, this is awesome.
Can you share a moment or story that had a lasting impact on you while you served?
Yes. I don't know. That's a tough one. Does it have to be a good one? I feel like I've shared a story that
yeah.
impact on me.
Yeah, let's go with a good one.
A good one. I gotta think about it.
I think she did. Meeting her husband.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I'm sure there's a good one out there. I just can't like think of it off the top of my head.
I'll loop that question back.
Well, do you still talk to
I'll fix it in post.
Do you still talk to that one friend?
No. So he was a bud stud. So he was gonna go to or he went to Navy SEAL training, and then he dropped out, and that's why he was actually like at our squadron, is because he got like re-rated to like be a CT or whatever. I don't know. He had a new job now. And then his whole goal in life was to go back to buds and make it through. And I think he did. He doesn't have social media or anything, so I can't check up on him, and I don't have his phone number. But like, I think that he went back through buds. I think he became a Navy SEAL.
Wow.
I hope that for him. He is like, he deserves the best. So like, I don't know. He was just such a rock, and he helped me through that situation. I think that I'm not trying to like be all about myself. I think he was kind of into me. Like, that's why he was hanging out, but also he kind of felt responsible, because like he was the guy the night that it happened. He was the sober one that went home because he was on duty. And so he was the guy I called that I was like, I need you to come get me. And every day after that, he was like with me until like I was okay.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I wish I could call him and say thank you.
Yeah, he was your guardian angel in a way.
Yeah, he was. And he was like just such a good guy. Especially after like being through something so traumatic where like there were no good guys, like he was.
Go ahead and fast forward. Let's talk about life after the service. What was life like during your first 12 months as a civilian?
I think I just floundered a little bit. I went to school. I think that's what everybody does, right? You get out and you're like, I got a GI Bill, so let's go back to school. But like, I was weird in school because like, I thought that I was better. So I had gone through therapy while I was in the Navy still trying to transition out. And so I thought I was better. So I was like, oh, I'm good. I didn't realize how, I don't know what's the word I'm looking for, like relieved I would be to be out. Because now I'm not wearing the uniform anymore. I'm not around a bunch of people wearing the uniform anymore. And like, I don't have to be in that environment anymore. And like, wow, like I feel good, but I still had so much shit to work through that I didn't realize. And so I don't know. I kind of like just did odd jobs. I was a nanny and I went to school and I Ubered and I just kind of like, we just hung out. Taylor and I, we like partied. After I met him, like we started like hanging out and like doing like silly things that young kids would do, like going out to bars and clubs and different things together because I felt safe doing that stuff with him. And we did, like we just hung out and partied and like we had friends and we would work and we just like did whatever we wanted. We were just like doing our best. Like we moved back to Colorado and we just, I don't know. We had a friend. So this is also kind of a sad story. I'm not just full of sad stories. I'm a very happy person. But right before I got out, like 2 months before, one of Taylor's best friends from the Navy, he killed himself. And so they lived in Colorado. So we were kind of helping his wife kind of through that grief that she was going through, but also kind of like trying to live our life, like being free out of the Navy and like doing whatever we wanted to do. But I don't know. We were just there for her when she needed us. We only lived like a couple miles from her. So we were there a lot and we hung out with her a lot.
You were her support system.
Part of it, yeah. She had a lot of people around her. She had a lot of support, thank God. But yeah, we were there.
Let's go ahead and fast forward yet again. Okay, now that you've been out for 5 years, the length of your enlistment, how do those years compare to, to your time in the military?
Oh, my growth is like everything has changed. Everything has changed. So I went through some crazy therapy. I went through like hypnotherapy. I went through EMDR therapy. I went through regular therapy, all the while like just living my life and doing my thing. We struggled to get pregnant and then we did get pregnant and then we had a miscarriage in between that and we, like ups and downs, like life things, right? But like, and then we had our son. So we had 2 boys. We just had a miscarriage in between my 2 boys. I started a podcast and then we stopped that podcast. And then I started another podcast and then I don't know, like we just kept doing things and eventually something worked out for us. Like we struggled, like, I don't know, like I feel like the transition from like being in the Navy to being out, like we just kept spending like we had money coming in, like we were in the Navy and then we didn't. We were like super in debt and then we were like, all right, cool. Like now what are we going to do? Like freaking out. And we moved out to a farm and then we moved to a different farm. And like, I don't know, we've done all kinds of crazy things. Like life has given us so many curveballs. Like I would say just crazy growth, like so much growth has happened in 5 years of being out of the Navy. I mean, now it's been more than that, but yeah. You get
at that point.
Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Let's fast forward to now. What are you currently doing?
I'm a full-time podcaster now. Full-time? What? Who gave me a podcast?
What led you down the creative path of podcasting and specifically conspiracy theory content?
So I didn't always have a conspiracy theory podcast. My first podcast I had was in 2020. We started Being a Woman Sucks, mostly because it was like all these things that women go through. And because it kind of branched off, like I wanted to do like MST podcast. And I was like, you need a podcast that people actually listen to, right? Like otherwise it's not going to go anywhere. We're not going to do anything. I have one episode. We talk about, I don't know, people get raped in the Navy. Sorry. Like, like I can't just talk about that this whole time. Like that's really depressing. And I don't want to live in that world forever. Like I want to share my story, but that's not like my whole life. So then we started this podcast. It was called Being a Woman Sucks. And I had a co-host, Brandy, and she was awesome. And we talked about just all kinds of things like women pooping. She hated that topic, but like I thought it was funny. So other people thought it was funny too. Like we just talked about all kinds of things, makeup or like infertility or like, I don't know, like all kinds of things that women go through that men probably go through too. But like we put the women's spin out on it and people are like, being a woman doesn't suck. I was like, yeah, like you're not really understanding the point. So we stopped podcasting for a while and it was a lot of work on my end. And then we started podcasting again. She gets it.
She gets it.
We rebranded Being a Woman Sucks to Women's Thoughts. And while we were doing Women's Thoughts, I also decided I was going to start this conspiracy theory podcast because I was like, because I was listening to Crime Junkie. I was listening to a couple podcasts. I was like, what do I like about my podcast that I'm listening to? What can I bring, like put that into a podcast? Because basically in my mind, and I don't know if I ever shared this with my co-host Brandy, but in my mind, I was like, you can't just start like a talk podcast without people knowing who you are, because there's so many like famous people that do this. Like, I don't know if we can just have like a podcast about being a woman and people actually listen to us, because we're two complete strangers that are just like to people, right? Not to each other, but people won't really listen to us.
You're just trying to like be like Oprah and her podcast. They're going to listen to Oprah instead of listening to like two unknown people or women.
Yeah. And I got really down on myself about it. And I was like, you know what? Like, this isn't going to work. So, and I had my miscarriage. So we kind of like, I took a break from that. And I kind of threw everything I had into conspiracy theories, because I was looking for a conspiracy theory podcast and I couldn't find one that like I liked, that I enjoyed at the time. Maybe I just didn't look hard enough, because now I find plenty that I like. I looked around, I couldn't really find one. And I was like, maybe that's my thing. Maybe I do conspiracy theories and I do deep dives into these conspiracy theories. And instead of debunking them or doing any of that, like I'll just share all the different theories, because like it's really hard to find every theory about one thing in one place. So like that's what I'll do. So I started researching.
So I guess so I guess that's your origin story right there.
Yeah.
Do you think your time in the Navy gave you a different lens when it comes to analyzing information, secrecy, or questioning narratives?
No. I grew up in a conspiratorial family where everyone thinks everything's... So I was 7 when 9/11 happened. I was 7 years old. The towers come down. My dad, almost right away, he's like, that was controlled demolition. And I was like, Dad, that was a terrorist attack. I'm 7. I'm like, a terrorist attack, because that's what people at school are telling me. He's like, no. So now for the next years, I don't know how long since then, because we're still doing it now. He's like, watch this video. And we like watch these, like, and he explains all this stuff to me. And that was like the first conspiracy theory I really like remember. But like, I grew up in a conspiratorial house, so everything's always been questioned. And I think when I was in the Navy, I didn't really look into conspiracies or anything. Like I was so focused on like how fucked up my life was that like I didn't think about conspiracies really then. Then I got out. I don't really know what brought me back to them. I don't know. I wanted to be, this is going to sound silly. I wanted to be Ashley Flowers of the conspiracy theory world. Yeah.
My husband doesn't know what that means,
No,
but I do.
I saw her pop. So
I get it.
She gets it.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm going to be Ashley Flowers of the conspiracy theory world. Like people are going to know who I am. Like I'm going to basically everything that is bad that happened, all these people that think that I'm just like some like person that like fucked up and probably lives a shitty life. Like I'm going to give them the middle finger. You know, like, I don't know. I was just going to put it to everybody.
No, what kept me, just a side note, what kept me listening was the fact that you did mention you were a Navy veteran. I'm like, that's fucking cool.
Yeah, I mention it every now and then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I caught that. I thought that was very interesting.
What brought you to my podcast?
I did exactly what you fucking did, and I typed in conspiracy theories on Spotify, and yours is the first one that popped up.
But tell her why. Before podcast, what would you listen to?
Were you listening to Alex Jones?
No.
Coast to Coast.
Oh, Coast to Coast AM.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. With George Nori.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's
what a
right.
Show.
Oh my God. Yeah. I still listen to like replays of George Nori. They're not as, I don't know, they're all over the place, like trying to find segments. Yeah,
it's hard to listen to those.
Yeah, the format's different because I think it's like 37-minute formats for each like story or something like that. But yeah, that's who I was listening to back when I was driving back and forth to Camp Pendleton at 3 a.m., 4 a.m., driving down the lonely highway all the way down to base, and I'd just be listening about stuff about alien abduction.
So now you know how old he is. He's old.
I'm very old.
You look old. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I feel it. Trust me. When you said that your husband was the age he was, I was like, shit.
We were working. We both of us were getting ready to go to work, and we're watching the news when that happened.
I think I just turned 23.
Yeah, I was watching the news when it happened.
So you see, and I was going to throw in a 9/11 question, which I normally ask.
Not us. We're going to school.
But yeah, that really set a precedent for the rest of my life. Now look at me.
I know, right?
I cover conspiracy theories.
So the mission behind the mic. What do you hope your audience takes away from each episode of the Rabbit Hole Conspiracy Theories? Is it about entertainment, education, or challenging the way we think?
I think a combination. I think it depends on the person. I didn't have like one person in mind when I started this, because like I didn't want it to be just for like hardcore conspiracy theorists. I wanted it to be for people that are like, I'm just curious about what people are saying about this conspiracy theory, right? Like, I just want to know what they are.
Yeah.
So that's why, like, I try to keep my opinions out of it, and I don't debunk it, because like I want people to come up with their own opinions. Whether this makes you start like questioning things in the world, awesome. I like, that's part of my job. But if you just got a little entertainment out of it, that's really cool too. Like, I think education and like questioning the narrative, I would love for everybody to be a little bit more skeptical of the world, because like, I mean, it's a little fucked. But at the same time, like, if you live in that world forever, like, or like always, like if you're always in like conspiracy theory land, like your life can't really be happy. That makes sense. Like you're like going to be a pessimist forever. Like the whole world sucks and the world's burning down and they're stealing our children and they're like, I don't know, aliens are running the world, or reptiles, excuse me. You know, like the world sucks.
Yeah.
But the world doesn't have to suck.
No, it doesn't.
Like it's such like a nice place to live, and like there's so many happy things that I'm like, okay, well, I live in conspiracy land a lot. That I think that other people should learn about them, but don't live there forever.
So conspiracy culture and veterans. Veterans can be naturally skeptical, especially when it comes to government narratives. Have you noticed any overlap between any veteran community and your podcast audience?
I find people like you that are like, oh, I listen to you because like I'm a veteran too, and I like thank you for your service. And I'm like, oh, cool. Like I'm like, I reach those people because I've mentioned a couple times that I was in the Navy. That wasn't like the point, but welcome to this crazy world that I live in. But I think that like veterans are sometimes veterans are quick to support other veterans, because like we know how it is to be in and we know how it is to be out.
Yeah.
But in the same breath, I think that we're quick to not support the people we knew in. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like if I knew you while I was serving, you probably don't support me. But if you're a veteran that I did not know, we probably didn't even serve at the exact same time, and you find out that I'm a veteran, you're probably going to support me.
Yeah. I'm going to give you that benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Let's see where it goes from there.
Yeah, exactly. So like sometimes I get people that are like, oh, thanks for your service, and that's about it.
No,
I had an episode where I had a couple podcasters on.
Was that the round table or something like that, where you guys are throwing questions at each other?
It was like, and I asked them a bunch of questions. It was like supposed to be like a game show type. And I had one of the guys on JMac podcast. I don't know if you've heard him, but he was like, I don't believe in any conspiracy theory. And the whole time he was like, yeah, I don't believe in that. Yeah, I don't believe in that. I was like, dude, seriously? So then I was like, I'm going to find something you believe in. He's like, yeah, bring it to my podcast. So I'm trying to figure out how, like a time to go on his podcast too. But I've got one that there's no way he doesn't believe it. Like I thought that JFK would be like that ace in the hole, and it wasn't.
Really?
But I've got it now. I think it's Epstein.
Oh, I can't wait to hear it.
There's no way you fucking believe that Epstein killed himself. There's no way. Come on.
And we got to ask, what's one conspiracy theory that, and you may have just answered that one, but we got to ask, what's one conspiracy theory that you have covered that still gives you chills or makes you go, maybe?
Okay, so there's a lot of them. I don't think I've covered a conspiracy theory that I don't like kind of believe, because I put myself in that mindset, like for every single theory I cover, that I'm like when I'm researching it, that I fully believe in it. Otherwise, like I don't do the research as well. And so, but like Pizzagate really fucked me up. Pizzagate like really messed with my head. And then any ones with like children. So like Bohemian Grove was kind of like that. I haven't done Jeffrey Epstein yet, but I'm going to, and that one's pretty rough. Basically, anyone with kids, I have nightmares about them often. Actually, I have very vivid dreams anyway, and so I have a lot of very aggressive dreams about children being in really shitty situations because of my job. But I think that the one that outside of nightmares, the one that really gets my brain kind of thinking, I have a couple of them. A simulation theory, really, I don't really like that one because I'm I don't want this to be a simulation. I really like my life. And then flat Earth. I go back and forth with flat Earth. I'm is it flat? Is it round? I'm not a flat earther. I don't want anybody to get the wrong opinion about me. But I'm not a flat earther either. So I don't want anybody to get the wrong opinion about me.
There's another one that you covered, and I always freaking forget the name of it. Something about the water in the sky.
Oh, the firmament.
The firmament. Yeah, that's a fucking trip too.
Well, and they're connected. That's why I did them back to back. The firmament and flat Earth. And so I'm okay, is it flat? But then why? Why would they lie to us and say it's round? But also the moon landing is fake.
I was about to say the moon landing is kind of a trip too. It makes you think.
So then I go back and forth. I'm I don't understand. So I think that's where I haven't fully made a decision on that one. So I'm probably still in the situation there.
What's next? Do you have any wild theories or episodes coming up that you can tease for us?
Oh, always. Always. When is this coming out?
I hope probably in the next couple months because I have a couple of guests down the line and I wish I can get these out quicker, but I can't.
No, that's okay.
Yeah.
So the one I'm working on right now, by the time this comes out, it'll be obviously way out already, is the Vatican and the Pope. I'm working on that to get out this week. The Simpsons coming out.
That's very timely. I just finished watching Conclave last week. That was a trip. The ending was a trip.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, you haven't seen it? Ooh, okay. I won't say anything. The ending's kind of a trip. I mean, it's kind of but it's still, it makes you think huh, okay. All right.
I like things that make me think.
Yeah.
I don't know. So this is going to sound really bad. I don't plan out episodes that far in advance.
Okay.
Basically, I finish an episode and I'm what should I do next?
Oh, wow.
So sometimes I was planning them out, and I actually, at one point, I went to Patreon and I was hey guys, what do you want to hear next? And they told me, and then I couldn't get it out for them in a timely manner because I was well, this conspiracy theory matches this one, so I need to do this next. And then that actually matches this one, so I need to do this one next. And then 3 or 4 weeks later, I was oh, sorry guys, here it is, finally. So I don't really plan them out that far because sometimes when I'm in a deep, dark rabbit hole, I'm oh my God, this one goes that way.
Pun intended, right?
Yeah. So
yeah, it'll spiderweb, right?
Yeah, and so then you never know where I'm going to go with it next, and honestly, I don't either. But the problem is, here's my real problem. On weeks that I don't have something that I'm oh, I should do that next week because that connects to this one, I have to go into my form. I have a Google form. I have people send requests to, and I have to go there and I have to pick a request. That's not the hard part. The hard part is I have 500 requests.
Wow.
So then what do I do?
Yeah, that's a tough situation to be in.
Sometimes I just scroll and stop. I'm that's the one.
You could do the Google, the spinneroonie thing, what do you call it?
Oh yeah.
You could just put them all there. Yeah, little automated wheel and it'll pick it out for you. I try
to do ones if I have a lot of requests for one thing, then I try to cover that. The Simpsons has 8 people request it, and I was oh shit, sorry guys.
That would be interesting because they were pretty spot on with a lot of theories. Yeah.
Over 30 of them. I think they're time traveling.
I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, because it's just too much shit that's on point.
It connects back to Bob Lazar and Roswell. Yep, sure does.
Oh, interesting.
And the pyramids.
What? Okay, I'm going to have to write this down. And Roswell and the pyramids.
Yeah, it all connects together, and the CIA's involved, of course.
Well, it looks like I'm going to go down a little rabbit hole myself. How did your time in the military shape your values and the way you view the world?
This is going to sound so silly. I am so proud of my service. I am so proud of the fact that I got to serve the greatest nation. Are they corrupt? Yes, they are fucking corrupt. But guess what? They let me talk about how corrupt they are on a podcast. That's pretty cool.
That's pretty fucking cool.
And like, yeah, do I agree that they're like going and getting into every single war in the world? Like, do we need to do that? Absolutely not. But you know what? That, like, the big picture doesn't matter. All these people, I meet people every single day, and I love people. I always tell my husband, a full believer of this as well. We're in the people business. It doesn't matter what business you're in the people business, right? So, like, I love people, and all those people get to be free here in the US. And I love that. I'm so proud of my service. So, like, I don't know. I think that, like, it gives me, like, this, like, hope.
It gives you hope.
So, yeah, and a little bit of discipline. I guess that helped. Thanks, Navy.
Yeah, definitely. Is there a moment that made you feel especially proud to have served?
I don't know. I think that, like, it comes and goes. There's days where I'm like I'll be at like an event and they're like, "Oh, veterans stand up," and I'm like, I don't want to stand up. Like, I don't know. And people don't believe me. A lot of times they're like, "Oh, did your husband serve?" I'm like, "Yeah, he did, and me too. Thank you." But like, I don't know. I'm not trying to like discount his service, but like, women can serve in the military too. And so I don't know. It comes and goes because sometimes I'll be somewhere and they're like, "Oh, veterans stand up." I'm like, "Yeah, like I'm a veteran," And other times they're like, "Veterans stand up," and I'm like, "Oh, I don't want to be a veteran today."
I guess it just depends on your mood.
Yeah, I think it depends on my company. Like if my mom's around, I stand up at every event. Because like I know in her heart, like she's very proud that she's got 3 veteran daughters. So like if she's in the room, I stand up and I'm proud. When the American flag's around, like if we're saying the Pledge of Allegiance, we're saying, because where I live, we say the Pledge of Allegiance. We start with the pledge and a prayer everywhere we are. So, that's just the little town I'm in. But, they say the national anthem plays and I feel like this sense of pride. And I used to coach color guard after I got out of the Navy. I coached color guard for a little while and that I love color guard still to this day. It's a huge passion of mine. And I would make sure that they know, like my kids, they're all like teenagers, right? And I'm like, I served in the military. I fought for this for you. Like, you don't get to fuck this up. So like there's certain things where I'm like very passionate and other times I'm like, yeah, whatever. I was in the Navy. Just a footnote in my story.
What lessons from the military still stick with you today?
You can do anything. Anybody can, right? But like you have to believe that in yourself. So
like you said earlier, you got to have that discipline, as it does start with discipline.
It does, yeah. Get up and make your bed.
It's a start of something.
And every day, like you choose how you want to attack that day.
That's true.
My Navy career, like, yeah, there's like a black shadow on it now looking back at it, but also like there's good things that happened. Like, there's plenty of good things that happened.
Can you tell us where we can find your podcast? Or would you like to promote your podcasts? I'm going to give you that. Yeah. I'm going to give you that floor.
I am basically wherever you would listen to a podcast, the rabbit hole conspiracy theories, but also if you type in conspiracy theories, you probably find me. I just started a YouTube and a Rumble. And so if you want to watch me tell you a story, that's really not very exciting, but people like it. Okay. And I've been asked this question. They're like, "Oh, do you like doing video?" And I keep saying, "No, I don't." And I'm honest. I'm just going to tell you the honest truth. I don't like it because I'm in my room by myself telling a story, like watching myself talk. And I don't like that. But you guys like it and I like you. So now I'm on YouTube and Rumble, rabbit hole, conspiracy theories, or like on YouTube and Rumble and like on all social medias, it's at rabbit.holepodcast. You can message me on Instagram and I will 100% message you back. It might be delayed. I try not to work on Fridays or Saturdays.
Thank you so much for taking the time. I know it ran for a while. I know there's a big time difference over there.
Oh, that's okay.
Dani, thank you so much for sharing your story. Thank you for trusting me and Ruthie with that story and your insight with us today. As we wrap this episode, we want to take a moment to honor the strength and resilience of Dani Mercy. Her journey, marked by trauma, medical retirement, and the long road of healing, reminds us that some of the toughest battles begin after the uniform comes off. Dani's story isn't just about surviving, it's about standing back up and using her voice. Through the Rabbit Hole Conspiracy Theories podcast, she brings together a wide range of theories from all corners of the internet and beyond, laying them out for listeners to explore and come to their own conclusions, while adding her own sharp perspective along the way. Dani also makes Chat 62 history as both our first Navy veteran and the first woman to share her story on this platform. And we couldn't be prouder to have her voice lead the way. To every veteran carrying invisible wounds, you're not alone. Healing isn't easy, but as Dani shows us, it's possible. Thank you, Dani, for your courage, your candor, and your drive to keep pushing forward. You didn't just tell your story. You reminded others theirs isn't over. Until next time, stay the course.
Brothers and sisters at arms, are you struggling with your mental health? You are not alone. There is help available. The National Suicide Prevention Lifeline is there for you. Call or text 988 to connect with a trained crisis counselor 24/7. Do not hesitate to reach out for support. You are strong. You are loved. Semper Fi.
Shut it down.